YouTube? Awesome Rider here, coming at you with some surprise Power Rangers news that came out today, some new toys that have leaked, both for the main Dino Fury line and the Lightning Collection line. First of all, in one that's kind of like not a surprise now that we've gotten some other recent reveals, but also kind of a surprise, we're actually going to be getting a version of the Gold Rangers Morpher. It's coming in this Morpher Blaster set. It doesn't look like it's releasing exactly like a deluxe Morpher, it's kind of being released more like a weapon. It seems like it's sort of in line with what we've been getting in recent years of the Six Ranger Morpher getting kind of a one step below cheaper release, but not exactly since it's being framed as more of a weapon. A lot of people assumed it was going to be a Nerf weapon when it was first announced that we were doing Dino Fury, not to mention what they had done before. Beast Morpher's Gold got the Nerf treatment for his Morpher, so it was kind of assumed, but we never saw any sign of it. One thing that's interesting about this is I think it definitely confirms we're going to be getting more Dino Fury fill-out releases for the next year, heading into Cosmic Fury. Honestly, I feel like the first half of the year, is going to be populated with Dino Fury fill-in gaps, and then the second half will be Cosmic Fury. Since Cosmic Fury does come out later in the year, we're supposed to get the anniversary special first, and then Cosmic Fury in the fall or later in the year. So it would kind of make sense to possibly do Dino Fury toys and then Cosmic Fury stuff later. I would actually kind of like that, both because I think it's nice that they would be filling in some gaps, but also because I kind of like the idea of the fall release of the toys in the show syncing up more. Not to detrimental, by the numbers approach Sentai does, where it's literally date and date, oh, it premieres this day, the toy's coming out, but I just mean around the same time, because even in the past we were used to toys coming out before the show. Now they're weirdly coming out too late, the first Dino Fury toys showed up way after the show had first premiered. I don't need it to be exactly synchronized like Toku does, but I think it would be kind of cool to have the Cosmic Fury toys show up around the time that the show premieres, just because that's kind of, more exciting, I think, or even a little bit before. I wouldn't mind or be surprised if maybe they started arriving summer, early fall, and then the show premieres, kind of like all of what Bandai did. But I get a feeling that we'll be seeing Dino Fury fill-ins before this, or maybe it'll be a little bit of a mix of both, where we'll see Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury fill-ins trickling out. We already got the Moza Razor Zord, or not the Moza Razor Zord, I don't know why I always mix these up, the Demetro Fire Zord, and now we have the Moza Morpher. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got other auxiliaries and other fill-ins. I think it's definitely nice for, people that only collect the US stuff to complete things, not to mention just basic stuff like the Six Ranger Morpher. I really haven't understood the treatment of the Six Ranger Morpher in recent years. For me, when I was younger, it was one of the things that was most exciting to me and other friends when the Six Ranger Morpher would come out, because the Six Ranger was the cool character, and getting his Morpher and it was of the same quality of the other Rangers. This one definitely doesn't look the greatest. It looks definitely cheaper. I'll reserve full judgment till when I get it. Again, I think it's a shame that they're getting a little bit of the shaft in regards to the Six Ranger Morphers. I do actually think this would have been a perfect Nerf release. I've had mixed feelings on the Nerf stuff before, and I've talked about it previously, that the Gold Ranger Morpher for Beast Morphers, that was the only Nerf release that looked bad. Honestly, the other ones didn't have lights and sounds or all the other bells and whistles you'll get from normal weapon releases, but they looked really good. They looked pretty cool. They actually made pretty good display pieces, and it was weird to me that Gold's looked so awful, and I'm I wouldn't mind if Dino Fury Gold's Morpher looked as good as the other Nerf releases and was released, even if it didn't have lights and sounds. I would almost prefer that, a more accurate looking one. One that's most notable about this is, when I first saw it, I'm oh my god, it's so blue. I thought that the other one was more gold. I almost thought they got it wrong, and they seem to a degree, unless I'm just misseeing the pictures, but when you look at the Japanese one and the one from the show, it's got the gold armor over the face, and this one looks like it has blue armor over the face and gold under the chin instead, so I think that's miscolored, which makes it look like there's more blue, and almost looks like a variant. I wouldn't mind them releasing inverse variant that's blue gold instead of gold blue or something if they'd already released the first one. So it doesn't look the greatest, but we'll see. I'm at least happy they're doing it, and I definitely hope in the future, for whatever seasons we get, whether they're traditional or semi-traditional adaptations like Cosmic Fury or other shows, that we do get a more thorough selection of toys, because Dino Fury definitely seemed weird, and I feel like the only reason we're getting these is because we're extending it into a third year. The other one was a reveal of a Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Blue released as part of the Remastered collection, and it's done up in the new packaging, and it looks like an improved version. And this isn't entirely unexpected for a couple reasons. I mean, first of all, if you've ever followed Hasbro's other toy lines, mainly figures. If you've ever collected or even just paid attention to the Star Wars or Marvel lines, they redo figures all the time and do new versions, improved versions. It's pretty common. Even if they're incremental, they might do 2 or 3 versions depending on the popularity of the character over the years. And they've already started doing this to a degree. We have some improved like head sculpts. Like they just recently re-released a new Black Ranger figure, which they try to sort of market as more new because it has Adam's head instead of Zach's, and they include that one like weed whacker or weed repellent weapon or whatever the hell instead of the power axe to sort of make it seem different. But they have like the improved head sculpt because when they made the metallic figures, they improved all the MMPR head sculpt, and now they started to phase them into stuff like the Black Ranger. So that was kind of like a midway point. I won't be surprised. I mean, I'm sure they're going to do another Black Ranger one. I don't know if it'll be the same new head sculpt or it'll be a more even new improved one. But I would almost prefer that. Like, just be honest about it. I would almost prefer just buying this or a Black Ranger that's like, yo, it's a remastered version. We forked up the first one. Here's a new one. Better head sculpt, better everything. I'd rather have that than do this weird mid-release like they did with the Black Ranger that has like oh, it's a dumb gadget from the show. I don't care. Like, that sucks that like you'd have to buy both figures if you really want the power axe. I'd rather just straight up buy a new version if I want it. And I definitely hope that it's a kind of subline so it doesn't interfere with main releases and take up that slot. Because I understand people probably complain about there being more MMPR stuff, but again, this doesn't bother me. I'm like over it. It's time to stop complaining about that stuff. But I just do hope it's a subline, just because it would be nice to not interfere with the main ones. And it makes sense because it's the 30th anniversary that they'd want to do remasters, especially of this. I get a feeling we'll get remasters of other ones, maybe some SPD ones. What were some other ones that they really botched? Because like the helmets on the SPD ones are all like different and inconsistent. They're not all bad, but they're just all so different. But I don't know. Time Force Blue, I mean, he just came out, but stuff like that. I get a feeling we'll see stuff like that in the future of like remastered Time Force Blue, remastered SPD Red, whatever. But MMPR, I think, will be the priority. I think the anniversary logo is even on this. So that makes sense because, again, they do these type of things, and for the anniversary, they're probably going to want to have that out there for the fans and the casual fans and stuff like that. But again, I'm being honest, I would rather prefer them just being upfront and doing this and saying, yo, it's just a remaster. If you want a new version and you like this one better, buy it. If not, that's cool too. Instead of doing this weird like half measure, where you include a stupid gadget and you don't get the power axe. I'd much prefer this. It seems more redundant, but at least it's honest, And then you can make the choice. You can make a choice like, you know what? I'm fine with the old Blue Ranger, or, I want to upgrade it. And you don't have to have this weird thing where it's like, I don't know how many people struggled with that, but if you are struggling between Adam and Zach fan, and I want an Adam figure but with a power axe, it's like including some accessories with one and one in the other, and you kind of have to buy both. Maybe it's just this weird, again, half measure. I'd prefer them just be upfront and honest about it and just straight up release the new figure. So I'm not mad about that. I get a feeling it'll mainly be the MMPR Rangers that will get the focus, but I'm pretty sure we'll get more in the future. But yeah, interesting little news. Again, I get a feeling we might be seeing more Dino Fury extra stuff being trickling out. Doesn't look that great, but I'm at least happy they're doing it and happy that we're going to be able to fill out some of these other things for stuff they missed out on for fans. But what do you think? Are you guys excited for either of these? What are you expecting in regards to other things they might fill in the gap for Dino Fury? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell. See notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.